Our van is a 2013 Vauxhall Vivaro. We bought it as a standard panel van in 2023 and spent the next 8 months converting it into our perfect home away from home. Join me for a quick tour of our van after 3 years and over 20,000 miles of travelling around the UK. Good afternoon everyone, hope you're all doing well. I wanted to do a quick video today just to run through our sort of family adventure camper van thing that we built a few years ago. We've had it around 3 years now. We've ironed out a lot of the early issues that we had. We've got all the sort of equipment and storage and everything pretty well ironed out for us. It's been really good for us, one of the best things we've ever done. It's given us some really good versatile holidays. It's nice to go away for longer breaks and not have to worry about accommodation, not have to worry about staying in one place. We can move around a bit more. It's given us some really nice versatile breaks. So yeah, I thought I'd just run you through some of the things we've done, why we did them, and perhaps a couple of things that we'd do differently. At the front here we've got a Caravan's double seat swivel. This was one of the only things that I actually bought second hand off of Facebook Marketplace. When you see the price of new ones of these, you will understand why. I paid about £50 off of Facebook Marketplace. It's okay, it works reasonably well. It's not the most refined thing in the world. Essentially you undo the two knurled screws. There's two in the back here and another two in the front, and then the steel top sort of slides on this plastic base and you can turn the whole seat round just like that. As I say, it can be a little bit fiddly, but for the most part it does the job. It works fairly well. Just underneath the front seat here is a 2 kilowatt diesel heater. That is then essentially just ducted through here, through this box that I made, and then this vent can be adjusted to angle the air wherever you want it. This is an Alcocool CRX50 fridge. Runs on 12 volts from the leisure battery. It has app connectivity, so you can adjust parameters and things on your phone. It has got a freezer compartment that goes into here and keeps this area a little bit colder. To be honest, for us, it's not that great. It won't keep things actually frozen, not for long term. So we tend to run without that and just stack the freezer right, stack the fridge right up to the top. This is our cutlery drawer. So really, most things pertaining to cooking we keep in here. Firstly, keep a fire safety stick on the lid. So in an emergency, you can bust this open and put the fire out. That stays clipped in there. All other utensils and things kept in here. Underneath I just keep sort of kitchen foil. There's some cling film under there. There's a sort of drying pad thing and a silicone pad so that you can put down hot pans. There are some gas lines just under here which feed the stove, so you have to be careful not to knock them or damage them with your utensils. On the subject of gas, this is a Dometic SMEV 9222, which is a hob and sink combo. Yeah, this is a pretty good bit of kit. It's a little bit grubby at the minute where we were away last week, but it's a really nice bit of kit. Works really well in here. We don't use the sink that often. We tend to wash up sort of at the facilities at campsites, but it is handy to have. It's handy even just for, you know, storing your kettle or whatever it may be. It's just handy to have, and obviously it's handy to have some running water in the van, even if it is only cold. Hobs work really well. No issues with these at all, other than the fact, completely my fault, I put a pan that was too big on this ring and it melted the button for the igniter, so that no longer works. You can buy replacement parts. You can buy a new igniter. I think they're quite expensive, so we just tend to use matches at the moment, to be honest. One thing you must make sure of is, even if you're just cooking here and not using this, you must make sure that this glass top is up. Otherwise they will explode into a million pieces if they get too hot. They're not sort of tempered glass, so you can't get them super hot. Other than that, really bulletproof bit of kit. Works really well. Love it. In these two main cupboards, we keep sort of crockery, we keep water, and we keep sort of non-perishable foods. So crockery up here, a couple of little food items back there, bulk of non-perishable foods in here. That would be sort of tinned tomatoes, pasta sauces, maybe pasta or risotto rice, that sort of thing. We've got some non-stick pans here. This is Kitchen Academy brand. Love these, they've been brilliant. They're all non-stick essentially. They come with a handle that just sort of clips on, which isn't in here at the minute, it's actually at home being washed, and they work really well. No issues with them at all, as long as you use sort of plastic or wood utensils. They're really durable, they're really good. Up here, just a collapsible washing up bowl for when you're on campsites and stuff and you've got to carry your washing to a sink. Got a ridge monkey in here. We don't use this super often. My wife actually hates cooking with it, but it is handy to have for things like chips. You can put things in here with a bit of oil and it kind of works a bit like a mini oven. Yeah, again, not the most refined thing in the world. The handles come inside it, they just sort of clip on. It's a little bit campy, but it does work. Just takes a little bit of fiddling with. So we'll just pop that back in there. Next up here, yeah, just another couple of pans and things in there, and some bowls, and a spare washing up scrubber. That's pretty much it for the top. Everything just sort of pugs in there really. It doesn't move around much, to be honest. Down here we've got water. That's wastewater tank, fresh water tank. We've got a little mini hoover here just for tidying up. Not the best thing in the world, obviously. It's USB rechargeable, but it will work just for hoovering up bits of dog hair. Hey bud, you sit there. Sit, 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 sit. Lay down, down. Next down in this bottom corner we have a double gas locker. I wanted to have two gas bottles, just to have the redundancy of, oh, you know, if we've run out, we've got a spare. There's just a valve on the top of the gas cylinder, which you turn it on, gas flows through the manifold, through the pipework to the hob, and then you can just light it and you're away. You've just got to remember to turn it off when you're done using it, really. I fitted drop vents into the bottom of the gas locker. I fitted a second one underneath the hob, just so that if there is any gas leaks, the gas can escape out the bottom of the van. Never get any water or anything up through them. They're really good, so that's never an issue. As I say, it's just so the gas can escape out the bottom of the van and not fill the van up, so we all asphyxiate. Gas lock is a sealed item. I'll try and find out where I bought this from. Yeah, had no issues with it. It's great, works really well. These sort of latches just keep it sealed, so that's all good. Yeah, that's it for the main cupboards. On here we've got a table rail, so we can just fit a table on here and it can slide around. Obviously here it's quite useful for cooking. When you're working over there, it's quite nice to use this for cooking, but you can also slide it along so that it serves the rear seats, or at least one of them. Up here we've got the main switch panel for the back of the van. We've got the fridge. This is switch for the tap and the freshwater pump. That's for the heater, for the diesel heater. These are the lights. These are a sort of touch light just under here. And these are for the sort of low level lights that I've installed at the front. I'll show you those in a minute. I've also fitted 2 3-pin plug sockets here. We don't use this very often, but sometimes it's nice to be able to have a hairdryer or a hot chocolate velvetizer thing. That's about all we use it for, really. In this cupboard here, I keep all the electrics and the 12-volt leisure battery. So I'll show you in here now. There's another fire safety stick on here. This is the 100-second extinguisher. I feel like that's an ideal place to keep it, really, just above all the electrics. In this cupboard, we have got a 280 amp hour Fogstar lithium battery. This is the main fuse box for the conversion. There is a Victron DC to DC charger and also a hookup 230 volt charger. Then there's a bus bar on here and an isolator, so I can switch it all off and isolate the battery. I chose for this project to surface mount the wiring, just so I could keep it very easy to maintain. I can go along and check all the connections in the bus bar, and I can make sure that everything's behaving how it should be and diagnose any issues easily. Down in the bottom here, I keep a Karcher window vac, because you do get a little bit of condensation on the windows overnight, and that works really well to clean it off. And there's a small bin in here as well that we can just put a bit of rubbish in now and again. This is our rock and roll bed. It came from a company called Essex Leisure Furniture. I think their website's something like rockandrollbed.co.uk. Been really good. Had no issues with it at all. Wasn't overly expensive when we bought it, but it's been working really well. We tend to keep a towel just on the top of here because the kids' car seats go on here, and it just stops them digging into the vinyl. But yeah, everything about it's nice. It has the ability to tip forward a little bit and still lock in, which just basically reclines the backrest a little bit so the kids can sort of sleep easier in here. We tend to run it like that when we're doing early morning starts or overnight journeys. Other than that, it locks back into place nicely. We've got a mesh pocket over here just for when the kids are in the van, they can put their colouring books and stuff down in here. These curtains came from caravans. There's a upper and lower rail which you screw into place, and then you just put the curtains into the rail with some plastic clips. And again, they work really well. There's not really a lot to say about curtains, to be honest. Up here, I keep a tablet. This is a Samsung tablet. We don't let the children watch things on this while we're driving along. We always prefer for them to look out the window or do some colouring or something, or play some games together. We don't use this while we're driving along, but it is kind of nice in the evenings to, if it's raining outside, we can sit in and watch a film, something like that. Or once the kids have gone to bed, we can sit and watch a film. There's 4 auxiliary power sockets in the van. There's 2 here. These are USB-A and 12 volt sort of cigarette lighter style plug-in thing. They run both off of the leisure battery. And there's 2 more up here. Again, 12 volt cigarette lighter and USB. This one is not as fast. Obviously this is 2.1 amp as opposed to the other one being 3 amps. Most important bit of kit on the van by far. This is a combined smoke and carbon monoxide alarm. Really handy to have. You've got to have one. If you're cooking in your van at any point, or you've got a diesel heater, you must have a carbon monoxide alarm. And having the smoke alarm as well is just a bit of a bonus. Fully recommend having one of these and testing it regularly. Up here in these top lockers, we just keep sort of miscellaneous things. There's tea and coffee making things in here. We usually keep some sort of like sports bottles for the children. In here I keep all the chargers that we need. There's phone chargers in there, chargers for lights and torches and things like that. They all live in that box. There's also some sticks in there for toasting marshmallows, things like that. In this one, this is all sort of first aid. There's Calpol in there, medicines, hand sanitizer and soap, some baby wipes, some floor wipes, some antibacterial hand wipes, and just in the back there is a gas leak detector, which I use every now and again just to make sure that everything's safe. Just in the front here, there's a couple of these O-bulb lights. We tend to use these in the pop top of the van at the night time, just so that the children have got a sort of night light type thing. They work quite well. They'll last a whole night on a charge, but you'll be charging them every day if you use them all the way through the night. Storage area down here is just for bedding really. There's a couple of pillows just wedged in there, and there's the bedding for the rock and roll bed just under there. I do have to take this out before I pull the bed down, so I'll just show you that now. So as you can see, the bed folds out fairly easily. We use a mattress topper, which is from Dunelm on the top of here. It's just more comfortable than the sort of padding in the seat itself. I have slept on it, you can do it, but it is definitely more comfortable with the mattress topper. And then we'll just use a normal duvet over the top. I'll be honest, we tend to, for us anyway, when we use this, we tend to get a couple of nights, the first couple of nights of your trip, you'll wake up a bit stiff and have a bit of backache. But after that, it sort of goes and you sleep fine in it and wake up fine. So yeah, it works really well in this sort of van where you can't have a fixed bed because you need to transport children in car seats that are belted in. It is probably the best option with this particular seat. When you're done with it as a rock and roll bed, you just press that and it puts itself away. We keep our bedding in these vacuum bags. It just makes it easier to store underneath the bed. They take up a lot less room, they don't interfere with the mechanism on the bed. It just makes life a little bit easier. It's a bit of a fiddle to keep putting them in and sucking the air out the bag and all the rest of it, but I do think it is the best way of storing them. As I say, these vacuum bags just slide quite nicely under the seat. You just have to be careful not to put a hole in them when you slide them in. Sometimes they need a little bit of help. There we go. And then I stack our pillows just in the back here. Now just down this side of the bed, I just keep a few miscellaneous things. There's a stake to tie the dog and a couple of dog bowls clipped on here normally. Then bike locks in there. There's some rope down the end at the minute. That all just tucks in there and again doesn't interfere with the mechanism of the bed. The back doors of the van, all fully carpeted. All the mechanisms and hinges still work. The door will unclip and fold right round if we need it to. Again, there's a couple of these mesh pockets just screwed onto the back of the door. I keep a couple of microfiber towels in here just in case we get wet down the beach or perhaps paddleboarding or whatever. In here we've got the wardrobe in the top. We keep towels and clothes and things like that in here when we're away. This is accessible from both sides. There's a tambour door on the front or these hinge doors on the back. Just in here as well is a consumer unit that's connected to the hookup. Just keeps things safe with any of your appliances. Down in the bottom here is what I call the garage. In here we've got sort of everything pertaining to the running of the van. So there's a hookup cable and a light. We've got a paddleboard pump. This also doubles up to suck the air out of the vacuum bags for the bedding. So that is quite a useful thing that we use all the time. There are levelling ramps in here. There is a tool bag full of tools and spares. There's fuses and bulbs and screws and fixings and things like that. Anything you might need just to repair something minor. There's a tyre pump in there, a jump pack, all that sort of stuff. I keep some consumable fluids in here. There's some oil, there's some radiator stop leak, some tyre weld, there's a breaker bar, some spare fluids and a Haynes manual. And that all stacks in there fairly neatly. which just keeps it out of the way. As I mentioned earlier, there are some low-level floor lights that are fitted. These are just LED bulbs. I fitted these. We use them basically as like a night light for when the kids are sleeping up in the pop top. We can just have these on so that they can see the floor if they had to come down in the middle of the night for anything. When we purchased the roof, we spec'd a bed board to go in, which is this thing. We also spec'd it with a double hinged back end, which just gives you a little bit more headroom at the back here. It makes the van feel so much bigger to have that like that. And then when you want to bring that down, you can just fold it down like so, and then you've got access to the bedroom. So this bedboard is 3/4 inch plywood. I'd say it'd easily take 150 kilos up here. It's not the most spacious experience, but for kids, it's great. Especially with the windows open, they love being up here and looking out. It's fantastic for them. I keep all of their bedding up here. We've got a few blankets and some kids' sleeping bags. We just pop the pillows up. Just keeps things organised, and this can stay up here when the roof is down. Just on the back of the seat here, I keep these insulated blackout shades for the windscreen and the side windows. They are made for a Vivaro. I think I got them off of Amazon, but again, they're really good, even on a hot day for keeping the heat out from the sun. They really do work well. So thank you for joining us for this quick van tour video. Hope that has helped some people with their builds. There's probably stuff I've missed. If there's anything specific that you want to know about, just drop it in the comments, and I'll try and answer all your questions. There's probably some stuff that I've forgotten about or left out, so yeah, just let me know if there's anything you want to hear, and I'll do my best to get back to you. Thanks again, guys. Take care.